Reboot it, renew it, reshoot it, redo it and reuse it, retool it, abuse it, dispute it. If you want to make some easy cash, just recycle and rehash.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 animated shows that exceeded expectations.
Did you see it? Did you see it?
Beakley, clear my schedule.
Good. You have done well.
For this list, we'll be going over cartoons that viewers were initially wary of or unimpressed by, but after they debuted, these shows were good enough to stand the test of time. If there's an animated series whose quality surprised you that we failed to include, please tell us about it in the comments. Number 10, Rick and Morty.
You can't live without consequences, you know? You feel me? Wow, that's a beautiful thought, Morty, but no, there were definitely consequences.
The Adult Swim block of Cartoon Network is famous for weird and wacky adult series that have lots of gags but not a ton of substance underneath. At first glance, Rick and Morty played right into the programming stereotypes. The show just seemed to be about the random and gross adventures of a genius scientist and his grandson across space and other dimensions.
Stand down. He's not afraid of pirates.
Oh, run, Morty! That part was true!
And sure, Rick and Morty has those things, but it also manages to tackle topics like family dysfunction and depression in refreshing ways. There are tragic events and examinations of existential questions. Sure, we figured Rick and Morty would be hilarious, but we didn't expect it to make us feel so many feels too.
I'm a version of your brother you can trust when he says don't run. Nobody exists on purpose. Nobody belongs anywhere. Everybody's gonna die. Come watch TV.
Number 9, Ducktales.
Now, let's go find the lost city of Atlantis.
Yeah!
And no one tell your Uncle Donald.
Yeah!
When a remake of Ducktales was first announced, people were naturally cautious in their assessment. Could it really live up to the original? Or would it just be another nostalgic cash grab from Disney? But immediately upon hearing the remixed version of that oh-so-catchy theme song, fans knew they were worried over nothing.
Might solve the mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales, every day they're out there making DuckTales.
Thanks to a stellar animation style, a fantastic cast, great cameos, and thrilling adventures, the new DuckTales is the rare remake that matches and maybe even exceeds its predecessor. That's why we're sad that it will be ending in 2021. We'll enjoy that timeless woohoo while it lasts.
You expect so much.
Maybe I got a little carried away. The kids truly are the best team I could ask for.
Number 8, Steven Universe.
If every pork chop were perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs.
Given how big it's become in the years since it first aired, it can be easy to forget that a lot of people weren't immediately on board with Steven Universe from the get-go. The show's creator, Rebecca Sugar, was heavily involved with the insanely popular Adventure Time. This drew concerns that Steven Universe would just be a carbon copy of a Cartoon Network smash hit, and Steven as a protagonist didn't seem to stand out much. However, the show had several awesome qualities that made it develop a distinct identity of its own.
All I wanna do is see you turn into a giant woman, a giant woman. All I wanna be is someone who gets to see a giant woman.
Steven Universe's memorable songs, beautiful animation, and timely themes about personal identity and acceptance made it an absolute gem of a show.
Well, I think you're pretty great.
Number 7, Bojack Horseman.
If you keep breaking it, I'm gonna break you.
Well, call me a Kit Kat bar because I'm already broken.
Kit Kats aren't already broken. That's the whole point.
When it first debuted, critics weren't especially impressed with Bojack Horseman. Another adult animated sitcom, but this time it featured a washed-up actor who's a horse. What could be different about a seemingly tame idea? However, the show takes its premise to a much deeper level than we were prepared for.
Yes, I'm sorry. Okay, I don't forgive you.
Although Bojack has some great humor, what truly sets it apart is its examination of its very flawed characters. Through their stories, we examine mental health, addictive behaviors, and so much more. Sure, we all came for Will Arnett's signature dry humor, but we stayed for the feels. We don't even mind that the show sometimes makes us want to curl up in bed and cry for a day.
My mother, she knew what it's like to feel your entire life like you're drowning, with the exception of these moments. These very rare, brief instances in which you suddenly remember you can swim.
Number 6, Sonic Boom.
Are you prepared to do your civic duty?
You said civic.
The Sonic franchise in general has been through a lot of ups and downs in the last 20 years. Fans were especially wary of Sonic Boom because a similarly named video game that had been released around the same time was a buggy and disappointing mess. And it wasn't like the other Sonic tie-ins were doing so hot at the time either. However, the cartoon series proved surprisingly entertaining and successful.
What happened? I couldn't think straight. Nothing made sense.
Yeah, you get used to it.
Its lighthearted tone proved to be a nice contrast to the franchise's infamous attempts to be edgy. Sonic Boom also has some surprisingly good social commentary and some breaks in the fourth wall that will have you rolling with laughter. Plus, it's grade A meme fodder.
You know, Amy, anytime someone calls attention to the breaking of gender rules, it ultimately undermines the concept of gender equality by implying that this is an exception and not the status quo. What?
Number 5, Gravity Falls.
If this thing works, we could learn the identity of the author and unravel the greatest mysteries of Gravity Falls. You ready?
Oh, I'm ready, baby.
Given its fairly limited selection of animated shows at the time, Disney Channel cartoons didn't exactly inspire much confidence in the early 2010s, so Gravity Falls was treated with plenty of skepticism when it first aired. But as viewers quickly learned, the show was anything but typical.
Hey, at least I'm not all keyed up to watch a kid's show.
I'll have you know that Ducktective has a big mystery element and a lot of humor that goes over kids' heads.
The story followed the Pines twins. While spending a summer with their kooky great-uncle in a bizarre Oregon town, they have tons of amazing adventures. Gravity Falls proved that it was possible to balance hilarious humor for kids and adults with intriguing mysteries and emotional storytelling.
I wanted to say that you're gonna hear some bad things about me, and some of them are true. But trust me, everything I've worked for, everything I care about, it's all for this family.
Now regarded as a classic, Gravity Falls kicked off an unexpected renaissance for Disney TV animation. Number 4, Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
No. No. Stop it.
Know yourself. Know what you will become.
This show had a lot of things stacked against it. It's set during the divisive Star Wars prequels era, the animation isn't especially good in the beginning, and its tone is initially more kid-friendly. Yet as the show goes on, it really puts the wars in Star Wars. There are amazing battle scenes, great development for new and returning characters, and some surprisingly mature content.
Have mercy. Please. Please.
There is no mercy.
Its great content has even inspired a spin-off/sequel series called The Bad Batch. From its initial lukewarm reception to now, Star Wars: The Clone Wars isn't just a good cartoon set in the galaxy far, far away, but one of the best chapters in the Star Wars franchise, period.
Come now. What happened to all the enthusiasm I saw earlier?
Number 3, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
So this is the great Avatar, master of all the elements.
Although pretty universally loved these days, Avatar: The Last Airbender was at risk of being rejected when it premiered back in 2005. Could a cartoon with an art style inspired by anime really work in the West? But practically everyone who has given the show a shot has found it to be one of the best animated adventure shows ever made. All the main characters have satisfying arcs, the action is fantastic and wonderfully choreographed, and its humor appeals to all ages. Oh, and the show can make you cry a lot.
Leaves from the vine, falling so slow, like fragile tiny shells drifting in the foam.
Even the terrible movie adaptation couldn't ruin its tremendous legacy. Like Avatar: The Last Airbender's title character Aang, the show's power should not be underestimated.
Woo! Toph, you rule.
Number 2, Futurama.
I guess there's nothing wrong with being a little weird.
Leela, there's nothing wrong with anything.
Given that it was created by the same folks behind The Simpsons, it was inevitable that Futurama would have a high bar to clear. And while it never quite achieved the same level of mainstream success as The Simpsons, it still managed to be a great show. Futurama's devoted cult following was strong enough to get the show resurrected from cancellation.
Did you see it? Did you see it?
The explosion?
No, not the explosion.
Then what?
Nothing.
Its futuristic, sci-fi setting offers a unique and hilarious form of satire. Additionally, Futurama features more character growth than you might expect, along with some romance and tragedy that will really tug at your heartstrings. But we digress.
But I digress. Tremble, puny earthlings! One day my race will destroy you all!
Before we unveil our #1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions. F is for family. Adult animated sitcoms aren't usually the norm for Adult Swim's originals.
Hey, what y'all doing here?
Airport stuff.
Nothing. We were just leaving. It's okay.
No, it's not okay. You're messing with our hijacket.
She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. A surprising remake that showed us She-Ra's power was the real deal.
Hit them in the back of the neck. That should take them down. Not bad, Sparkles.
Batman Beyond. It followed a legendary animated series and still went beyond our expectations.
I think it's time your protege joined the Justice League.
The Justice League? I can't help but consider the timing.
Big Mouth. Odd animation and juvenile humor? Yeah, but it's also so relatable.
Well then, that went terribly, but at least I've come out unscathed. Now, I believe there's a clogged toilet calling my name. Oh, Harry! I'm coming, toilet!
American Dad. Seemed like another Family Guy clone before it became its own thing.
What's happening? I was just about to do something really funny.
I'll tell you what's happening. It's the end of the world, and we've been left behind.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. #1. SpongeBob SquarePants.
Hello, you've reached the house of unrecognized talent. Please start after the...
What? We can hear you saying. There's no way expectations were low for SpongeBob, but we have to compare the show's insane success today to its humble premise. We follow an adult talking sponge who lives in a pineapple under the sea surrounded by weird characters and bizarre humor. From an outsider's perspective, SpongeBob SquarePants might sound like an off-putting and crazy idea.
Let's change our names to Why and Bother.
But anyone who originally dismissed the show on the surface level missed out on one of the greatest cartoons ever made. The characters are unforgettable, the jokes are hysterical, and it's wonderfully inventive. And it's been running for over 20 years. While it's not as strong as it once was, skipping the show completely will deprive viewers of a sweet victory. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.